So here it's going over how to solve quadratic equations by factoring. We kind of jumped the gun on the previous problems we've been solving when all they've been asking for us to do is to factor. So this would be our final answer here. Right? And for this one, all they're asking us is to factor. This would be our final answer there. Right? But this is the notes on how to solve this. First, you write the equation in standard form. Right? So we're going to subtract 24 from both sides. And then we're going to factor the trinomial using the diamond method. Following that, we're going to set each factor equal to 0, like we've been. And then you solve for x. Right? So the answer is x equals -3 or x equals to -8. Let's go ahead and do that here. Right? First step is to put it into standard form by adding 51 to both sides. And we get x squared minus 20x plus 51 is equal to 0. And now our a is equal to 1, our b is equal to -20, and our c is equal to 51. So we draw our x, and 1 times 51 goes up in the top box, -20 goes in the bottom box. And now what two factors multiply to 51? Multiply to 51 and add up to -20. So we have 51 times 1. I believe 51 is prime. So we have no numbers that would multiply to 51 other than 51 and 1. Let's see. Or maybe I'm wrong. 51 divided by 3. Okay, so it's not prime. 3 and 17. There we go. So let's do 3 and 17. And they both are going to be negative. So negative times a negative is positive 51. -17 plus -3 is -20. Right? So we found our two factors, and now we can write it as x minus 17 times x minus 3 is equal to 0. And our last step here is to set each factor equal to 0. So we're going to set x minus 17 equal to 0 and x minus 3 equal to 0. Because if a times b is equal to 0, then either this factor a is equal to 0 or this factor b is equal to 0. So let's do that over here. X minus 17 is equal to 0. We're going to add 17 to both sides, and we'll get x is equal to 17. X minus 3 is equal to 0. We'll add 3 to both sides, and we'll get x is equal to 3. Okay. So x is equal to either 17 or 3. And I'm going to write that up here as x is equal to 17 or 3.